Humans, Admiral Razak snorted, his 4 nostrils flaring with disdain as he gazed at the view screen. Such primitive creatures. Barely 2 centuries of space travel and they think they own this sector. His massive frame dominated the command bridge of the glorious Conquest, flagship of the mighty Vaxarian Armada. 342 warships hung in the void behind him, their hulls gleaming under the light of an unfamiliar sun. This would be the easiest conquest in his illustrious career. Status report, he barked, running a clawed hand over his scarred face. First Officer Pelter rushed forward, tablet in hand. All ships report ready, Admiral. Weapons charged. Boarding parties standing by. The humans have no idea we're here. Their pathetic detection systems can't penetrate our cloaking fields. Excellent. Razak's mouth split into a fanged grin. Begin the approach. I want their colony stripped bare by nightfall. The Armada surged forward, a perfectly choreographed dance of destruction. 3 centuries of interstellar dominance had honed the Vaxarians into the most feared military force in the known galaxy. No species had ever withstood their might. Admiral. The sensor operator's voice cracked with surprise. A vessel is approaching from the human colony. Show me, Razak commanded, more curious than concerned. The view screen shifted, displaying a single ship moving toward them. It was sleek and angular, but comically tiny compared to even the smallest Vaxarian cruiser. The bridge erupted in laughter. They sent 1 ship? Razak howled, slapping his armored thigh. Is this some kind of joke? Perhaps it's a diplomatic vessel, Pelter suggested, struggling to maintain his composure. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the human ship, the communications officer announced. Put it through. Let's hear what these fools have to say before we obliterate them. A calm, almost bored human voice filled the bridge. Unidentified fleet, you have entered protected space. Turn around and leave immediately or be destroyed. You have 60 seconds to comply. Fresh waves of laughter swept through the command bridge. Or be destroyed. Razak repeated, wiping tears from his eyes. By 1 ship? Pelter, target that insect and swat it. With pleasure, Admiral. The first wave of 20 Vaxarian destroyers moved into attack formation, weapons locked on the solitary human vessel. Firing in 3. 2. The human ship pulsed once, a barely perceptible ripple of energy emanating from its hull. And then, impossibly, the 20 Vaxarian destroyers simply came apart. No explosions. No debris. They just separated into their component atoms, leaving nothing but glittering dust where mighty warships had been moments before. Silence crashed onto the bridge like a physical weight. What? What just happened? Razak whispered, his confidence evaporating. The human voice returned, still eerily calm, that was a warning shot. 59 seconds remaining. Hashtag the 1 ship wonder hashtag part 2. Panic in the ranks, explanations. Now! Admiral Razak roared, slamming his fist against the command console. The bridge crew flinched collectively as sparks erupted from the impact point. Science Officer Tila rushed forward, her slender frame practically vibrating with anxiety. Admiral, I have no precedent for this technology in our database. 20 ships just disintegrated. I can count, Tila. Razak snarled. What I want to know is how. Before she could respond, the tactical display flashed red. The human vessel was moving, not retreating but advancing with casual confidence. All ships, pattern Delta 6, Razak commanded. Surround and overwhelm. No single weapon could handle that many targets simultaneously. The remaining Vaxarian fleet responded with practiced precision, breaking into 5 battle groups that approached from different vectors. They're splitting up, Second Officer Jorix observed. Exactly as we predicted. The human ship can't possibly, the human vessel pulsed again. This time, only the ships in the port flank group dissolved into cosmic dust. How are they doing this? Razak howled. The communications array exploded with panicked transmissions from the remaining ships. Can't be happening, they knew exactly where to hit. Admiral, permission to retreat. Tila's eyes widened as she studied sensor readings. Admiral. I'm detecting our own energy signatures in that pulse. They're using our own weapons against us. Impossible, Razak whispered, but his voice lacked conviction. The human ship pulsed a third time. Another 60 vessels vanished. Admiral, Jorek stepped forward, mandibles tight with suppressed fear. We've lost nearly half our fleet to a single enemy vessel. Perhaps we should attempt communication. Offer terms. Retreat? Surrender? Razak's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. To one human ship? I'll execute any officer who suggests such dishonor again. Joreks exchanged glances with Tila. Both could see the dangerous edge of madness in their commander's eyes. On the view screen, the human ship continued its languid approach. Unhurried. Unworried. Like a predator that knew its prey was already dead. All remaining ships, Razak hissed. Concentrate all firepower on these coordinates. Let's see them handle our combined might. As the command transmitted, another pulse emanated from the human vessel. 70 more Vaxarian ships disintegrated. Sir, the communications officer said shakily. We're receiving another transmission from the human ship. Put it through, Razak growled. The same bored voice filled the bridge. This is getting tedious. Last chance. Hashtag the one ship wonder hashtag part 3, desperate measures, everybody out of my way. Admiral Razak shoved the weapons officer aside and took manual control of the flagship's primary cannon. His claws flew across the targeting systems with desperate speed. I'll handle this myself. The remaining 112 ships of the once mighty Vaxarian Armada formed a tight sphere around the flagship. Their combined firepower could vaporize small moons. All ships, fire on my mark. Razak's eyes bulged with manic intensity. 3, 2, 1. Fire. Blinding energy erupted from every surviving vessel, converging on the tiny human ship in a cataclysmic wave that momentarily outshone the nearby sun. Direct hit, someone shouted. But as the light faded, impossibly, the human vessel remained, completely untouched. Worse, it appeared to be. Growing brighter? They're absorbing our energy. Tila gasped, frantically analyzing readings. No, it's more than that. Admiral, they're manipulating gravity itself. Creating microsingularities that capture our weapon's fire and redirect it. On the communications console, lights flashed. Sir, the communications officer said, voice trembling. I've intercepted transmissions between the human ship and their command. Play it, Razak demanded, claws digging into the armrests of his chair. A casual human voice filled the bridge. Command, this is Captain Andrea of the patrol vessel Dauntless. These aliens are persistent but frankly unimpressive. Permission to wrap this up? My shift ends in 20 minutes and I promised my kid I'd make it to her soccer game. A different human voice responded, copy that, Dauntless. Make it quick, but take prisoners if possible. Standard first contact protocols. Silence fell across the bridge. Patrol vessel? Pelter whispered in horror. This isn't even their warship. Jorek suddenly straightened, drawing his sidearm. Admiral Razak, I am relieving you of command under Emergency Protocol 9. Your judgment is compromised. Razak spun, eyes wild, but found himself facing not just Jorek's but half the bridge crew, all with weapons drawn. This is mutiny, he sputtered. This is survival, Jorek's replied grimly. Communications, open a channel to the human ship. Now. The view screen showed the human vessel beginning to glow with accumulated energy, far more than it had gathered before. Channel open, the communications officer said. Human vessel. Jorix shouted. We surrender. I repeat, we surrender. Cease fire. The glow surrounding the human ship paused, then dimmed slightly. Well, would you look at that, came the human captain's voice. They can learn. Hashtag the one ship wonder hashtag part 4, humbling aftermath, surrender accepted, on the following conditions, Captain Andrea's voice declared. Your commanding officers will board our vessel for terms discussion. Weapons remain powered down. Any hostile action results in immediate. Well, you know what happens. Jorix, now acting admiral, looked at the disgraced Razak, who sat slumped in restraints. Agreed. The shuttle journey to the human vessel was silent and tense. When the airlock opened, Jorix, Tila, and 2 guards escorting Razak found themselves facing a human woman in what appeared to be a casual uniform. She looked utterly unremarkable, and completely unafraid. Welcome aboard the Dauntless, she said cheerfully. I'm Captain Andrea Martinez. Sorry about destroying most of your fleet, but you did fire first. The aliens followed her through corridors that seemed absurdly spacious and understaffed. Where are your warriors? Tila asked, unable to contain her scientific curiosity. Andrea laughed. Warriors? This is a patrol boat. We have a crew of 12. We're basically space cops. Cops? Razak finally broke his silence, face contorting with rage and humiliation. 300 ships destroyed by cops? Actually, it was 330, a young human corrected, not looking up from a console where she appeared to be playing a game. New personal record, Captain. Andrea led them to a conference room with a viewport. Outside, the remnants of the once mighty Armada drifted pathetically. Look, she said, suddenly serious. Humanity isn't interested in conquest. We've got enough problems at home. But we protect what's ours, violently if necessary. She slid a data cube across the table. This contains our territorial boundaries and communication protocols. Stay outside the red line, we won't have problems. Cross it without permission, well. She gestured to the viewport. Tila studied the human technology with undisguised fascination. Your gravity manipulation capabilities are extraordinary. Our scientists theorized such applications but, oh, that old tech. Andrea shrugged. That's just our basic defense system. Standard issue. 2 months later, on the Vaxarian homeworld, the High Council sat in stunned silence as Jorix concluded his report. And finally, he said, activating the last recording, this transmission was intercepted from the human territories yesterday. The view screen showed hundreds, no, thousands, of human vessels on parade. Massive warships that dwarfed even the glorious Conquest moved in perfect formation, their weapon systems casually visible. Their patrol boat destroyed our Armada, Counselor Vex whispered. What could their actual warships do? No one had an answer.